Landlords, if your rental is sitting longer than it should right now, it's not the market. It's your presentation and your pricing and your process. And hey, I'm Leslie Duvernay, California-based realtor, investor, and landlord coach. And I help my clients and students every single day win in this market, regardless of what kind of market we're in, with the right strategy. And right now, strategy really matters more than anything because the market has shifted. What I'm seeing right now across California is tenants are being more selective, inventory has crept up, and landlords are feeling that pressure. But here's the problem. Most landlords are solving the wrong problem. They think, oh, it's just the market, or it must be the tenants. There's just no tenants. But when I actually look at their rental listings, it is none of that. It's clearly a presentation problem. And I'm seeing it over and over again. Landlords will spend thousands of dollars renovating a property, turning it over, new floors, new paint, upgrades, all of it. They follow a process to make the property look amazing, but when it's time to lease it and actually sell the property to a potential tenant, they completely drop the ball. Blurry cell phone pictures, dark rooms, active maintenance or repairs in the pictures, no real strategy behind the actual listing of the property. So you've got a great product, but you have terrible marketing. And in today's market, that just does not work anymore. Tenants are scrolling fast and they're comparing multiple options. If your property doesn't stand out immediately, you're losing them before they even click to view the details of your listing. Now layer on top of that a pricing problem. I've been seeing a lot of landlords trying to push tenants right now. They're thinking, oh, I'll just raise the rent $200 or $300. That's no big deal. But the market isn't always supporting that. So what ends up happening is the tenant leaves, the property then hits the market, you have to account for the vacancy loss, the property then sits on the market because you're trying to get $200 or $300 more per month, and you wind up chasing the market down and you end up with a vacancy. Now, if you're in California, that is likely just for the rent alone, $2,500 a month, plus the cost to turn the unit. So you're already out like $4,000 just for trying to do an aggressive rent increase that maybe the market can't sustain right now. That $200 a month rent increase probably doesn't matter if you lose an entire month of rent. And that's why it comes down to knowing your market. So if you do plan to do some type of a rent increase, you need to make sure that the market rents are going to be able to support that. Otherwise, you're just throwing out random numbers and operating recklessly, in my opinion. The other reason you would want to do something like that and do a dramatic rent increase might be if you're trying to push out an unfavorable tenant. That's where that might come into play. But if you have great tenants and they're paying on time, then hitting them with a massive rent increase that not only the market won't support, but will just piss them off and make them move out and you'll end up with a vacancy, it's really not worth it if they're good tenants. Now, I've been spending a ton of time in landlord Facebook groups lately, and what I'm seeing is some landlords, they're just straight cashing out. They don't want to be landlords anymore, or others are moving their properties into more landlord-friendly states, or others are just straight out frustrated and they really don't know what to do because California itself just keeps evolving. There's more regulation, there's more expectations from you as a landlord, and more pressure to run this even more like a business than it already should be. The landlords who are struggling right now are the ones that don't have a system. The other big thing that I'm seeing is not planning for reserves and no planning for maintenance. And this one actually catches a lot of landlords off guard really quick because things will come up. Even if you just did a full renovation on a property, you could have a plumbing backup, you could have other small repairs, but even something that's a simple issue without reserves can create a big problem for you. And as we're heading into spring and summertime, this is your friendly landlord reminder to check your HVAC systems. So maybe replace the filters, check the drain lines, just make sure everything's operating as it should be. And I'll tell you a story. I had a newer unit just last year actually ended up flooding because of a clogged line, and it went into the ceiling and caused bubbling in the ceiling. We ended up having to do drywall and paint and all of those kinds of repairs for a simple clogged HVAC line. Now, had I done preventative maintenance on that unit, then I would have caught it earlier and not had that problem. And honestly, doing preventative maintenance on your unit is kind of like your wellness check on your property. So if you book your HVAC company to go in and do some maintenance, or maybe you're handy, you can do it yourself. You can get a set of eyes on the the property just to see how the condition is doing and if your tenants are maintaining the property. Now, all of this stuff, this is exactly why I just came out with the Vacancy Playbook this month. I kept seeing landlords just make the same mistakes over and over again. And if you have a vacancy coming up in the next 30 to 90 days, then this is for you. It's only $27 and it walks you through step by step how to prep your property, how to actually market it the right way, how to run your showings, and how to place a strong tenant. It's the exact system our team uses every single time we take on a new rental listing. No guessing, it's the exact process. And if you want more support beyond that, that's where the full Lease Like a Boss program comes in. That program itself takes you beyond just leasing the property. It takes you into systems, renewals, and actually building your landlord business. But at a minimum, get the process in place, because in this market, especially with things slowing down and rents being at the lowest that they've been in a while, the landlords who win are not the ones with the nicest property. They are the ones with the best system. And as always, happy landlording.